really. The question is that, what does it feel like? So a lot of people ask this question, what does it feel like to be possessed? How would you explain that to people that they ask you this question?
Okay, I'm going to give you the difference between before I knew and after I knew. This scumbag has been there since 1999. I was an atheist when he possessed me. I didn't believe in jinns, demons, anything of the sort. But when he came on me at night, the first thing I thought was, this is demonic. Even though I knew I wasn't moving, I could see my room, but I felt like somebody was either ripping my head up and down or something was inside my head like a tennis ball. And a demonic roar. It sounded as loud to me as a jet engine. And I was trying to move, trying to fight it. There was nothing I could do except wait it out. Then I came around.
How old was you then?
16-ish.
16 years.
Yeah. And strange things started to happen at night, again and again, until the point where it went from fear to honestly I actually look forward to it. And my behaviour became noticeably worse exactly since 1999. As I say, I was atheist, so I just carried on doing the old haram things I was doing. I won't expose myself any more than that. So I always thought, without ever going near the doctors or the so-called mental institutions, that I was a bit tapped in the head, because I knew I had more than one voice, I swear to you. And I just carried on like this, and if you ask people who know me from childhood, they will tell you the same thing. They just thought I was tapped in the head. And my behaviour carried on, just continuing on normally with my haram lifestyle, my jahil lifestyle. And when Hassan said he possessed me in 2006, looking back, things became worse then. That's when I kind of went a bit cuckoo. I went a bit more off the rails. So alhamdulillah, 5 years later, Hidayah from Allah inspired me to research into why I was doing what I was doing, because I knew I was living on the wrong side of good, you could say. But deep down inside me, I knew there had to be something more than atheism. So over the 4.5 to 5 year search of all the religions, like I say, Islam is the only religion out there. It makes sense, it's backed by the evidence, etc, etc. But part of researching Islam is the jinn. The more I researched the jinn, the more things started to click. And I thought to myself, well, that really makes sense. Like, because I was ticking off like many of the symptoms. I'd say 70% of the known symptoms.
Give me, what symptoms did you remember? What symptoms?
Right. The only things I would find funny, as weird as this is going to sound, were violent, dark, dodgy jokes. The only music I liked was dark, aggressive music with hints of demonology in it.
Give us an example. Give us like what albums or tracks?
There is a band called Fractured, and they have a song called The Voice Inside My Head. Believe it or not, I was just inspired to listen to this and their music, which is along a similar line over and over. Also,
is this heavy metal or?
It's less than heavy metal. It's industrial rock,
okay.
But it's dark. That was the only music that interested me. Or I wouldn't say I was ever into rap, but rap, which was more dark, also interested me. Like I say, dark comedy interested me. Even but when I was searching.
What's dark comedy? What is that?
Things which are not funny, but jokes at the expense of others, suffice to say. You know, things you would expect a jinn to be interested in, basically, because they're twisted. Also, spending time alone. I was quite happy to be in company, but if I couldn't find company, I was quite happy to be alone. Another big one was my sleeping pattern. Just boom, went upside down. Like, I can stay awake all night, I still can, and then during the day I can crash out full brightness. You know, also overeating, which I presume is because I was feeding 4 of these creatures, and I literally, there was no barrier on my appetite, no barrier whatsoever, and I barely put on weight at all over the years, you know. Also, I obviously I don't touch it anymore, but I was never an alcoholic, but I was always fond of alcohol, and if I started drinking, I couldn't stop. I would always have the waswas of one more, until boom, gone. And Hassan, the Muslim jinn, actually told me that they got drunk when I got drunk. As strange as that may sound. Other than that, also negativity, lethargy. Like, if they can't convince you to sin, they just make you lazy, which in itself is a sin because you're wasting time, but without a doubt they have the power to make you tired. and went pretty much quickly, because when I started to practice, Salah was very difficult for me, very, very difficult for me, because when it would be time to get up and go, all of a sudden, bang, there'd be this rush of tiredness. And also, if any of you are having crazy thoughts when you go to do your Salah, when you're doing your Salah, I'd advise you to get checked out, because in the beginning they were bombarding me from every angle. They didn't want me doing Salah. Also, the first time I noticed physical effects, before I had it confirmed that I had a jinn, in Salah, when I would stand, my upper back would tense. In ruku, my head and neck would tense. When kneeling, my arms would tense like they were here on the video. And in sajda, everything would tense, even while I was going into sajda. So that tells you that they don't even want you in sajda, you know, because it would take recitation or dua in the other positions to get tense, but just going down into sajda. And that was when, without having it officially confirmed, I knew then that there's got to be something more to this business. Also, my face became more dark when I was 16 years old. I only know now why. Subhanallah. Alhamdulillah.
Thank you very much. Jazakallah khair for coming and letting us know. And sharing your point of view and what it feels like to be possessed by these demonic jinns. And may Allah give you shifa, and give shifa to the rest of the Muslims around the world. Barakallah feek. Assalamu alaikum. Akhi, may Allah reward you for that.
And may He reward you as well for your efforts. Jazakallah khair. And may He destroy Balfour.